For more information on my programs, please visit massajadi.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.
Let's go ahead and take a question, noticing how you feel, how you're feeling. This is a question. It says, number one, how in the new success paradigm, parameters such as time, space, density, gravity, manifestation are perceived, and how they are related to each other? Good question. And then two, how space-time influences density? Again, good questions, and again, you could write a book on it, but in short, space-time is a method of creating density. So, for example, in gravity, so like a centrifuge, if you've noticed that, say a simple weight that could weigh 10 pounds with like a centrifuge or spinning yourself, right? It creates density, creates a heaviness. So say 10 pounds, as you create, spin faster and faster, it creates that heaviness. Maybe 10 pounds turns into 50 pounds and so on. Whatever, the math may not work out, but whatever, that, depending on how fast you're spinning. So in a sense, and that's a simplistic form, as we say, spiral through space-time, because time is not a straight linear line. Again, it's a spiral, like a slinky. And again, I'm not going to get into the detail, but as we go through, that's how, say, density is created. So in space-time, so in order to keep everything intact, we would need, say, time, some kind of method to organize, say, all these, say, molecules of space-time. So I look at time in space as a molecule. Just like an organism, or like a cell structure, or like, say, a honeybee cone or home, right? Each honeycomb is of itself. So, and it is a honeycomb, not squares or anything like that. It's a little bit more than 8-sided, but anyway, I think it's like 12-sided. Yeah, 12 or 13, 12. Anyway, so that's space-time molecules. So as you enter in that, say, that molecule, it designates the reality that you see. It's like, I say, a video game, right? You enter in a certain screen, that's what you see. You enter into that, say, certain molecule, you get to, say, experience what's in that molecule. So hence, billions of people could enter in that space or that molecule, and there's molecules within molecules, and so on. Just like infinity, you can divide one by a half, and then by half, you'll never see the end. So same thing with space-time. That's why mathematically it works out as well, right? And it expands the other way as well. So each molecule gets grander and grander and grander and bigger. So, and that's why, say, somebody goes to a certain part of Africa, right? And they'll see pretty much the same thing, because when we enter into that space-time, well, that's what we're going to see. So it's like our vision or our computer goes, oh, this is what you're going to be in this space-time. So with that being said, that's how space or this reality is created. Hence, that's why people see the same thing. So it's a combined, some people go, well, it's a combined dream state. It's really not. It's just that, we've created this, say, massive neural network that we're all part of. Or a massive computer. So that's how space-time influences density. Okay? So there's a couple aspects. Obviously, there's some big holes that it would take too much time to explain in here. But one, density is created by, say, the centrifuge process that we go through, or even the spinning of the Earth as well. It's not just weather, gravity, and all that. It creates a density. The universe, by the way, they spin like that as well. And and then from that, to keep again all the density in place, we would have to have, say, molecules of space-time to understand where everything is. Otherwise, like Einstein said, everything would happen at once. It would just be a big mess. So it's the fourth coordinate that we have. So without that fourth coordinate, you could just roam or get lost in time and space. You could go back into, say, 50 years or 100 years ago and live it from that time, because that time is still open for us. Or you can go forward in time, some other reality that's threaded in. So how does that create, say, the success paradigm? Parameters such as time, space, density, gravity, and so on. Well, for us to realize where we are here in the beginning of time, and I'll make it short for you, in the beginning of time, what happens is that all possible matter had to be created for us to understand density or space-time. So as we've gotten more brilliant, more intelligent, more, say, affluent or wiser on how to make it efficient, well, the extremes, like, because there's polarity here in this reality, right? Light, dark, hot, cold, so on like that, good, bad. Those polarities all exist. Right? And throughout the ages, there's a lot of darkness that has been cut out, and then there's a lot of brilliance that has been cut out. So, because we need less and less density to understand where we are here in space-time. So it's like, who's that? So it's like if you had like an artist, they were given the block of granite, right? And that's what we were in the original time. Everything was just like that block of granite. But then over time, what we've created, imagine starting to create a masterpiece. We're only like 14% done of that masterpiece of space-time, or how we see our human, say. So over the again, millions of years, we've gotten better and better, more efficient on, say, standing density without as much density. And it's very similar to inventions. The first computer, right, would take up a whole building, but we've gotten more and more efficient, and now it's in the palm of our hands with more computing power. Same thing here. To create, say, space-time at our early stages, we would have to take massive amount of whatever, right, frequencies. I call them sub-quantum frequencies. And now we don't need as much because we're more efficient. So extrapolate that into, say, the future, would be less and less. However, we would need to become more and more transparent, because we can't hold on to the heaviness, including the lies, including the distortions, including the abuse, including the control, because those create a lot of density. Those are, say, extreme frequencies that aren't needed in this reality anymore. Hence, as this wave of purity comes through, or transparency wave, what happens is that those things have to, like, flesh out into the surface, just like many of you go through detox. It gets fleshed out into the surface. You can't hide that shit anymore in you, right? It comes out, and that's what's happening. Banking system, finances, government, relationships, all those things are, you see more and more garbage coming out on the news. That's why. It's fleshing out, whether you hide it or not. And it's not that humanity, say, is evolved. It's just that this wave comes through and is forcing humanity to evolve. Otherwise, humanity would be on a downward spiral, because we haven't learned much from it. So with that being said, what you mean by abundance, it's not just about finances or, providing food or anything like that. Abundance in its bigger, the bigger view, or the grander view, is that sustainability without the heaviness, right? Efficiency and sustainability. So the abundance that we seek, though, right? Money, love, health, that's only 1% of why we're here. So imagine that 1% of why we're here, but we spend about 100% creating that 1% or going after that 1% and then losing ourselves even further as a human race, right? So, and this is what, say, significant success about, is that you create, say, the efficiencies of being here without all the heaviness. Because as you've known, the people who've ascended, have you noticed that you're a lot lighter, you're a lot freer, you're a lot more dynamic? Say diseases and distortion and abuse and things can't hold on to you anymore because they can't exist at the higher frequencies. Right? Simple as that. However, you're also seeing that, well, it's easier to be happy and internally happy, void of, your Gucci purse and all that, because that never brings happiness. However, because you are at that level of abundance, right? A physical, say, definition or a physical reality has to be created around the reflection of who you are in this abundance. So in our world standard, say a Gucci, so something of fine quality, right, will come into you to reflect, say, the essence or the abundance or the completeness that you've risen to. It's not a facade. It's not fake. And then there are companies, that are high-end, so to speak. They're just expensive, but their products are crap. Those companies, people of, say, significant success would not be attracted to because it's just a dollar figure put on to make something cheap look expensive, right? Again, those companies will start to fail. These are like high quality items, not just, a label that you're buying, but again, high quality items. So that are worth the price because that price, you're worth way beyond that. So that's where, say, success comes through. So, hopefully that explains it in a nutshell. If you have further questions, I think it'd be a great podcast, to write into, Masei, Masei, at masajati.com. All right, guys, take care. Again, excellent question.
For more information on my programs, please visit masajati.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.